Yeah, as I'm looking here for more superhero prose, it looks like it's constantly fighting an uphill battle to get noticed. Because while I'm logged out, it's offering me new faces and new writers, but it's also offering a bunch of DC Drek I don't feel like reading, bunch of Bendis Drek I don't feel like reading. So it's a mixed bag. I mean, again, I find new people, but a lot of times you have to have kind of like just keep randomly putting in different words to see what kind of search results pop up. In fact, part of me wants to try to put in superversive superheroes and see what pops up from that. But yeah, a majority of superhero pros, if they're not going full on 1000% woke, like, oh, we gotta fight the patriarchy, blah, 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 or we gotta wear our ID on our sleeve, blah, 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 then it seems to either go in that direction or it's mostly kind of Marvel inspired, X-Men persecution versus mutants and normals type of setup. I guess that's an easier way to make an overall conflict happen, but I'm not really interested in finding X-Men type or like a Marvel esque influenced stuff just because I'm not so much interested in street level like heroes. Like if you're gonna have, I guess that's the reason why I really enjoy New Olympus Saga and Heroes Unleashed because it doesn't just focus on a certain subset of superheroes. It's building a whole entire world so that way you can have what you want in it, but it basically builds up to where it should attract more eyeballs or like different types of superhero readers that maybe some that do enjoy the Spider-Man type adventure versus somebody like me who wants the more Green Lantern, bigger picture kind of deal. So it's one of those things where it's like it is an uphill battle, but I'll even link stuff on my Twitter that I might not even find as appealing, if only to get it from out from underneath all the endless ab books and stuff that's not superhero stuff in the traditional westernized cape and spandex sense. But yeah, I would say finding the random old pulp style comic book like that. I'm gonna get that collection later, like 200 plus 50 pages of comic book, old style 1950s comics for 2.99. Sure, why not? I'm game. I'll even link it below. I'll link some of the stuff I found below. From I linked it on Twitter already, but I'll link it in this video as well in case people want to find some stuff that's different or newer releases. Some of these superhero prose books have been just released in September, so they're fairly recent, and we'll see where it goes. But yeah, as I keep looking through here, I'm not going to link everything I find, but with this search, Infinitium, an Afrofuturist tale by HarperCollins Publishers. It's going to be released next year, but I could care less. Let's see. Hot pants and spandex suits. Gender representation in American superhero comic books. This is why a lot of Western comics are dying. You know, and while most indies are starting to gain a little bit more traction, or indie projects even funded by stuff like Keanu Reeves and whatnot. So the actual interesting comic books I think is still there in some cases. It's just you're not going to find it at the Dead 2. Yeah, I'm going to just keep referring to them that way because you know what? They're not worth my time or money. They destroyed things I enjoyed, so you know what? I'm not going to feed them anymore. And then Panthers, Hulks, and Ironhearts. Marvel diversity in the 21st century superhero. It's like they want $30 for the Kindle edition on that bullshit. It's like if I wanted a gender study class, I'd read like a synopsis on a college website. I don't give a fuck. That shit's just retarded. I don't care. Give me a story, give me good characters to go along with that story, give me mysteries, give me plot hooks, give me cosmic shenanigans, and I'll be perfectly fine. I don't care what the rest of the makeup is of the character. Just tell me a goddamn story. Stop making everything like ridiculously lopsided to whatever political preferences you have. Balance it out. If you're gonna have a bunch of whack job progressive shit in there, then have just as much whack job conservative shit in there. Conservative ink is useless anyway, so you know what? Might as well just throw that in there too. No, like Pulp Rev gets it, and quite a few of the indies get it. Like, tell a story. Don't tell a message. Tell a story. Oh God, Empire of the Superheroes, America's comic book creators in the making of $1 billion industry. It's not $1 billion industry anymore, not at least for the Dead 2 and everybody else. Yeah. See, the thing is, like, I'd care more about what happens to them if they legitimately had kept aspirational heroes as a option. But no, they're all is like everything's political. Well, if you have the politics bent to one side constantly, you'll have people checking out of that shit faster than Joe Biden with actual memory capabilities. So yeah, but looking at everything, hmm, there are some people I've never heard of before. Like, but this is also giving me a good idea of really where to price my own books when the time comes. Since I'm completely brand new, and I don't have like big any kind of big kind of clout. Yeah, I'm probably gonna put each of the Uplift Protocol season sets for like $2.99 each. That way, if people want to, they can tip me a cup of coffee. But yeah, until you really get established, I would say $2.99 is a pretty good bet because people I know about and I know I enjoy their books. I can easily put down anywhere between $4.99 and like $8.99, especially depending on the length. But it takes a while to basically build up to that point. You know, probably at least a year or two worth of books ready to go, proofread, and covers actually drawn in eyeballs, that sort of thing. But yeah, superhero prose does need to be able to get into the limelight more. I mean, you figure with all those big blockbusters they had a while back, even though it was Marvel influenced stuff, you'd figure that would have bled off into books somewhere, but not as much. Not as much as you'd think. The only ones that seem to have made a dent with superhero prose are people that are already established, like Sanderson. Um, but it's not the type of superhero prose I really want to read. So, again, if you don't see it on the shelf, we got to make it. And we have to make it consistently. Like, don't just one and done it. Keep working on, if it's a trilogy, then get the whole trilogy out. If it's a duology, get the duology out. If it's a standalone, then indicate that it's a standalone or a collection of stories. But we have to grow the things we want to see. We just can't give up because the first book didn't sell like gangbusters. When you're first getting out on the market, you got to build up your base. And that's the thing that does take some time, especially when most social media is against helping people find writers that will prioritize story over soapboxes. So that's the reason why I'm going to link below, some of the stuff I found today, like I said earlier, and possibly, I might have possibly even found a series for my nephews to get into. I'll have to take a look at more of the samples just to be sure. Yeah, but other than that, let's continue on with this search, shall we? Let's see, I might have maybe found something else worth my time. It's releasing in December. Red Estrella? Shadowstar Vigilantes. Let's see. It was said that the world wouldn't end with a bang but a whimper. Sadly, that wasn't my experience. It happened in the middle of the night when many people in the dominant country of our world, Helios, were asleep. I realize now that it wasn't by chance. The Aurelian Empire wanted us ill-prepared and vulnerable. When the time came, when they destroyed our star, they left untold destruction in its wake. I saw our city fall, and that image has stayed with me since. I was never much of a survivalist, so maybe I am now. I'm so many things I wasn't before I found my own purpose and calling. Well, they mentioned dark purpose. Used to live an ordinary life, mother of one daughter in the military who I owe my life to. If she hasn't defied orders, including my own, and come back for me, I wouldn't be here now, and my occasional partner in crime, Raven's heart, wouldn't exist. Let's see. I'm wielding a blaster that gives our people justice they deserve, one bolt at a time. So this might be like more of like a revenge type book, but it's still, searching while not logged in doesn't pigeonhole me into, you know, basically Amazon's algorithm is decent for some things, but I have a feeling it goes overkill. Like if it basically if you love Galaxy's Edge, they'll recommend the same 30 to 50 people over and over and over and over in your feed because I guess the algorithm figures if you like Galaxy Edge, you'll like a lot of these other people, but it doesn't really populate it with new suggestions as people are up and coming with releases or new people just starting. So yeah, that's why in a way we have to try to dig down and curate some books, raise some things to the top that might show some promise. Um, it looks like this is possibly a type of superhero setup, but it has much more of a regular science fiction bent to it. Um, but I might give it a look. See, it comes out in December. I might as well add that to my waiting list to see if it's anything decent. But like I said, I'll link all these below. Have a good day, everybody.